Good morning, everybody. One of the things that we need to take into consideration when we're trying to make healthier decisions about what we eat is sauces and condiments and things like that are often heavily processed, have a lot of salt and sugar and things in them that just aren't good for us. So I try and make all my own sauces from scratch so that I have healthy options, not just something from a can or a jar. Today I'm going to be making a watermelon Habanero Jalapeno hot sauce, which will also include some orange peppers, some green onions, some celery. This is kind of a natural preservative, and a bunch of organic garlic. So I'll show you how I do that. So I'm going to start with the watermelon. Just cutting them in half and then scooping them out into a large saucepan. Gonna cook it on medium heat for a little bit just to reduce it and thicken it up a little bit. You'll notice any of the recipes that I give, I'm terrible at amounts. I just kind of eyeball everything. So I'm using 2 small watermelons here. You could use 1 medium-sized watermelon. Find whatever amount works for you and go with it. Now I'm going to put that watermelon on low to medium heat, closer to medium, and covering up the saucepan with the lid, but leaving just enough room for water to evaporate. Then I'm going to move on to cutting the stems off my jalapenos. Technically, if you are working with hot peppers, you should be wearing gloves. I'm not, because I live life on the edge. Then I'm going to cut the jalapenos up into small-ish pieces and tossing them in a roasting pan. Next, I'm going to cut the stems off the habaneros. I also like to use Scotch bonnet peppers where I can, or ghost peppers when I can find them. But again, technically you should be wearing gloves. Do as I say, not as I do, that kind of thing. This will come back to haunt me later. I'll touch my eyes or something, and it won't be fun. Cutting the habaneros in 2 and putting them in the roasting pan. And next I'm going to add just some orange pepper. Depending on the color you want to achieve with the hot sauce, you can use different colored peppers. I am going with orange because that's what was in my refrigerator. And I'm just going to cut them into medium chunks and throw them in the roasting pan. And next I'm going to peel some garlic. Again, I am terrible with giving amounts. It changes every time. But here I'm going to use 4 medium-sized bulbs of garlic. Yeah, I guess you'd call these medium. So I'm going to start by just taking off all of the outside skin of the garlic to expose the cloves. Now that I've got all the cloves exposed, I'm gonna squish them to get the skin off and peel them. I'm going to leave most of the butts unless they're real big and aggressive, in which case I'll cut them off. So rule of thumb, if Sir Mix-a-Lot is into the butts and the ends of the garlic, cut them off. And if he doesn't like them, leave them on. It may take you a little longer to peel all of the garlic. I'm clearly really fast. This is more my actual speed. Now that all the peppers and garlic are in the roasting pan, I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 degrees. Normally it should have been preheated, but because I'm dumb, I forgot to do that. But no big deal. Putting those in to roast. And while the peppers and garlic are roasting and the watermelon is reducing, I'm now going to cut up my green onions. I don't know about any of you, but whenever I'm cutting green onions, I'm always absolutely certain I'm going to slice my thumb off. Still hasn't happened. I'm 43 years old. I'm feeling good about it. I feel like it's going to happen one of these days. So be careful. And cutting up my celery. And now I'm going to add this to the watermelon, which is already pretty reduced. Look how that music got so dramatic there. I didn't even plan for that. But I guess to be fair, this is getting very exciting. Now I'm going to add some dry spices. This is an area where you can be creative and put in all sorts of different types. I'm just going with sea salt, paprika, and black pepper for now. And I'm going to start off with 1.5 tablespoons of sea salt. But later on I'm going to test it and put another tablespoon of sea salt in, which I don't think I show, so I should mention that now. So it's about 2.5 tablespoons of sea salt, 1 tablespoon of paprika, one tablespoon of black pepper. And yes, I should be using a different tablespoon or wiping it down each time or something like that, but I'm a savage. So there we go. Stirring it up. And then I'm just going to let everything do its thing for a little bit. And now I'm going to check on my roasting veggies. And it's kind of hard to see here, but they're nice and brown on the top, which is what we're looking for. And now I'm just going to add these to the mixture. I'm gonna let all that cook on medium heat for a while, just until things get soft. I don't want to make everything super mushy because I still like it a little chunky once I blend it. So just getting to that point where everything's just a little soft. And then I'm going to get out my hand blender. You can use a regular blender, but I find personally a hand blender, A, is easier, there's one less step, and B, if I use it on low, I find that I can still keep things pretty chunky rather than just pulverizing it all. And when you're using the outlet on the stove, just be careful that you're not burning the cord on the burner or on the pot. That's why I'm holding the cord up. Again, just thoroughly getting around, just getting everything sort of mushy and blended, but not super pulverized. And there we have it. So now I'm just going to leave it probably for about an hour or so on low heat to reduce it a little more, get it a little thicker. And now it's ready to put away in jars. I like to use mason jars. If you put it in while it's still hot and seal them up, these will pretty much last forever in the refrigerator. Or even outside of the refrigerator, I think. I don't know, I've never tried that, but yeah, I can make a batch of this stuff, and provided I put it in hot and let the lids do their little sealing thing, yeah, I've kept this stuff for months and it's been okay. And because I'm a slob, I got hot sauce all over my stove. Good idea to clean it up now instead of later. And there you have an example of one of my favorite hot sauces and favorite things just to put on absolutely anything. I put it on meats, I put it on potatoes, I put it on eggs, and it's healthy, and I know where all the ingredients came from. So hopefully you get a chance to make this and like it. If it looks good to you but you don't like real spicy stuff, you can substitute any of the hot peppers for regular peppers, and you can substitute anything. You can substitute watermelon for pineapple, for mango, for blueberry. You can experiment in all sorts of different ways. Do what you think is going to taste good. There's no right or wrong answers. I hope you liked it, and we'll see you next time.